Think you've seen every Superman story. Think again. Because today I'm going to tell you the darkest and almost forbidden version of the Man of Steel narrative that DC itself almost never wanted fans to know. Prepare to discover a corrupted Superman. A hero who transforms into something worse than any villain. A being who abandons humanity. And who will make you question if we truly know the real Clark Kent. Today, ULLC, the darkest Superman story ever written. A version where the Man of Steel loses everything, becomes corrupted, and becomes Earth's greatest threat. A plot so disturbing that many believe DC tried to hide it from the most beloved hero to the most feared monster. The beginning of the fall. Superman has always been the symbol of hope, the alien who, despite being a god among men, chose to protect humanity. But what if that same god were broken? In one of the darkest versions ever created, it all begins when the one he loves most is ripped from him. Lois Lane and the child she was carrying. In this story, the Joker decides to attack Superman in a different way. He doesn't try to defeat him with force, but rather to destroy his mind. Using fear gas and psychological tricks, the villain manipulates Clark into believing Lois is a threat. At the height of his delirium, Superman ends up killing his own wife with his own hands. And as if that weren't enough, Lois's heart was connected to a nuclear bomb at the exact moment of her death. An explosion devastates Metropolis, killing millions in seconds. The birth of a dictator. This is the point of no return. The Superman everyone knew died along with Lois. In his place, a dictator was born. Without mercy, Clark decides that humanity can no longer govern itself. According to him, freedom is the true poison of the earth, and only an absolute leader can prevent such tragedies from happening again. The entire world watches live as the planet's most beloved hero turns murderous. From then on, he creates an ironclad regime. No crime is permitted, no rebellion tolerated. Villains and even heroes who disagree with him are hunted, imprisoned, or killed. The War of the Heroes Batman, horrified by the fall of his former ally, becomes the greatest opponent of the new regime. Thus begins a war between superheroes' longtime friends now face each other as mortal enemies. The Justice League splits. Some, like Wonder Woman and The Flash, align themselves with Superman, believing his absolute power is the only path to peace. Others, like Green Arrow and Batman himself, resist to the end. The battles are epic, but also tragic. Cities are destroyed, innocents suffer, and the line between hero and villain is completely blurred. The Superman who becomes a monster. The scariest thing is that, little by little, Clark no longer shows any remorse. He firmly believes he is right, that his dictatorship is the only way to save humanity from itself. This Superman is not only powerful, he is cold, calculating, and capable of eliminating anyone who dares doubt his vision. The classic image of the smiling, hopeful hero is replaced by a merciless god with iron fists. And here's the most disturbing detail. At one point, when confronted, he says he has finally freed himself. That being a hero was never his choice, but rather a prison. Why did DC want to hide this? This story was portrayed in the Injustice universe, but for a long time it was restricted to games and alternative comics. Many believe that DC was afraid to show this version en masse, because it completely destroys the myth of Superman as a symbol of absolute goodness. After all, if even the greatest hero of all time can become a cruel dictator, what does that say about us humans who have so much less power and so many more flaws? This is the darkest version of Superman. A hero transformed into a monster. A god who abandons humanity. A story that DC never intended to be the main story, but which, deep down, is one of the most realistic ever told. Now I want to hear from you. Do you think Superman would have this fate in real life? If he had the power of a god, would he still be able to remain human? If you enjoyed this dark dive into the DC universe, don't forget to subscribe to the channel, leave a comment, and share this video with your friends. It really helps us continue bringing you these stories that most people never tell you. Because remember, Even the greatest heroes have dark secrets. And some of them, DC never wanted you to know.